Hey, Vinny, you said about being in great fights. You were in a lot of great fights.
I'm a former five-time world champion fighter.
You had some big wins. You beat smashing into your old buddy, Greg Haugen.
I
What?
hate the.
It is tough after boxing.
Yes, you're right. At times it's okay. At other times it's really grandiose. So,
What did your parents think about you boxing?
well, at first they were dead against it.
So that was a big thing for you, yeah? 'Cause the Rocky stuff was an inspiration for you.
Yeah, absolutely. My God, yeah. If it wasn't for Muhammad Ali, if it wasn't for the movie Rocky.
How did you get into boxing in the first place, Vinny? How did you first come about to go to the gym?
When I was 5 years old, I saw this guy, and I wanted to be like him.
What was it like building your fan base? And
I feel like I did it all. I met so many people. I met Stallone. I met Muhammad Ali. Trish, I've been hearing all good things about you. All right, let's get it on. Ask a question.
so how is life now, Vinny? How's life treating you?
Wonderful. Super. It can't be better. I got Zena in my corner. I got my chick over here. It's good. Can't get much better, bro.
Hey, but we have spoken about this up in Canastota before, and we've spoken to quite a few fighters about it. It is tough after boxing, though, isn't it? Like life after boxing can get pretty gritty when you're no longer the man of the hour, right?
Yes, you're right. And I'm always in my own world, and at times it's okay. At other times it's really grandiose. So, um, I still do a lot of things because of boxing. It's good. I'm not complaining at all. I'm a former five-time world champion fighter, and I take that to heart, and I let it guide me through the world today. So everything's cool. I'm lucky.
So you were known for your heart, Vinny. Where did that come from?
No clue, but my mother and father. And that's a fact, Jack.
In
Yeah,
what way?
my mom and dad.
What did your mum and do? What did your mum and dad do for work?
My mother was a hairdresser. She owned her own shop, and my dad was he was a money maker. My dad he just made money, literally. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but life, like our life, was a little crazy, and it was good though. It was super. It made the training for me much easier, and just everything. Man, it was pretty good. I had a great life. I'm blessed. I say it all the time. Somebody's watching me.
How did you get into boxing in the first place, Vinny? How did you first come about to go to the gym?
When I was 5 years old, I saw this guy, and he was so engaging and super pastastic. He was just unbelievable, the guy, and I wanted to be like him. And his name was Muhammad Ali. Not a bad character. And then on top of that, then I go to see this movie when I was 15 years old with three of my best friends at the time, and the movie was called Rocky. So the next day, I woke up in the morning and I went jogging. I jogged for 2.5 miles, came back, busted up the eggs, and that's it. From there, retirement with 5 world titles.
Wow,
That's about it.
so that was a big thing for you, yeah? 'Cause the Rocky stuff was an inspiration for you.
Yeah, absolutely. My God, yeah. It was. I don't know. I don't know if I would have done what I did if it wasn't for that. If it wasn't for Muhammad Ali, if it wasn't for the movie Rocky, I have no idea um, what life would have been like for me.
What did your parents think about you boxing?
Well, at first they were dead against it, and then they were with me 210%. Yeah, I got lucky. You gotta be lucky to have good parents. I had the greatest parents in the world. My parents were the best. I got and that made me win 5 world titles. That them being the best for me, it made me win. I had 100 amateur wins. I had 50 amateur amateur 50 professional wins. That's a lot, man. I fought my whole life, and it turned out pretty good.
When you turned professional, did you think you would go on to become a world champ? Were you a good amateur?
Yeah, it was. And you know why? There's a guy that is there, and he's a great fighter, and he was in my weight class in the amateurs in Colorado Springs. It was the ultimate the Olympic Training Center, and the name of this kid was Pernell Whitaker, and I couldn't beat him, so that's why I didn't go to the Olympics. I was the second choice.
That's tough competition to be up against Pernell Whitaker, right? Especially as an amateur.
He was unbelievable. He was at his best then. He was like a Floyd Mayweather. He couldn't. I couldn't hit him. I couldn't hit him. I was so mad. I wanted to get the stool and smash it over his head, but I, I just couldn't beat him, and he went and represented the United States Olympic team.
Did you want him to win, given that you'd fought him?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I, I love the guy. He's a great guy. He's a good dude. And he was a great fighter. Great fighter.
You obviously became a huge draw, Vinny, particularly on the East Coast, but also I know you obviously had big fights out in Vegas too. But what was it like building your fan base? And were you popular from the get-go, or did you have to build that fan base?
It's a little of both, Tris. A little of both. I did what I do. The way I fought was just made. It was my thing. And then I'm just because of my parents, I was great with my fans. I just thought it was awesome. That some people would come and see me fight, and I got the biggest charge out of that. And then things were good. So it all in all, I'm tickled pink with my career.
Hey,
50 wins. I fought for 20 years as a pro. Like I feel like I did it all. I did it all. I met so many people. I met Stallone. I met Muhammad Ali. You know, I had a blessed life.
well,
It was good.
you had your own movie done as well, but we'll get to that. I mean, but we're going to jump forward a little bit here, but on the way up, you had some big wins. You beat Jeff Bumpus, you beat Harry Arroyo, a former champ, and then you went smashing into your old buddy Greg Haugen.
I still hate him. I still hate him. I
What?
hate that.
Why did you and Greg not get along?
Because he's a punk and I'm not. That's why. He's a maggot. I'm not. That's why.
Going into that fight, going into that first, did you guys hate each other from the first fight, or was it something that just got worse the more that you spend time around each other?
Chris, you have no idea. Like, this might have been before your time, but he was just such a little punk, rotten little prickhead. I can't stand him. I hate him. I still hate him.
It's one of the great rivalries of all time. You know, you and him, the hatred's so strong. But like, have you not put anything to bed since? Have you guys been out for dinner at all over the years?
Out for dinner. I'll have a steak down his throat. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Whoa. Trish, you must be at least 10, 20 years younger than I am. Oh my God. Bugging. I hate that kid.
Well, you know, we had like Barrera Morales, they hated each other. And then they, next thing you know, like 20 years on, they're double dating with their wives and stuff. So sometimes these rivalries do get put to bed.
Keyword sometimes. Not this time.
Hey, as long as I'm asking you questions about people that you really like, what about you and Dana Rosenblatt then?
You're good. You're good. Zena told me you were good.
What about you and Dana then? Did you guys fix things up?
Me and who?
You and Dana Rosenblatt, did you guys end up getting on?
Are you kidding me? If that kid walks in this room right now, I'm choking him out. But like, boom, dead. I hate him too. He's a.
Are you the common denominator here, Vinny? Are you a troublemaker?
No, they started it and I finished it. I beat Greg Haugen 2 out of 3, and I really beat Rosensplat. I really beat him 2 fights, but the officials, the referees that were doing the fight, flew in, and they were with his promoter, so they gave it to him. But I beat him twice. Once I knocked him out, and the other one, I beat his ass, and they gave it to him. So I beat him twice. And Greg Haugen, I beat him first fight, second fight. I was so dehydrated, I almost died. And the third fight, I beat his ass in front of Donald Trump, our president. I fought at Trump Plaza. And that's all for him. So Greg Haugen and Dana Rosenblatt, they can both kiss my ass and keep walking. I hate them guys.
Are they the only 2 guys that you really didn't get along with that you fought?
Absolutely. Those are the only 2. See? So it can't be that bad.
By the way, tell me about that making the weight for Greg Haugen. That was February 1988 when you lost to him. What sort of things were you having to do to make the weight?
I ran on the boardwalk of Atlantic City for 3.5 miles. I lost 13 pounds because I had, plastics on and sweatsuits over that, combat boots, gloves, hats. And I lost 13 pounds. And back at that time, the weigh-ins were right
on the same day.
The day of the fight. It was ugly.
And I suppose it was in a days where you weren't eating or drinking, I guess, as well, right? In terms of, you to lose weight, you crash dieted.
Yeah, crash dieted. Just dehydrated. I just dehydrated myself. And you can die from dehydration. And then you're going in and getting hit in the head. You can die from that. I got lucky. Yeah, I was blessed.
Hey,
I'm happy went with the way my career went. 50 wins, 30 knockouts, 5 different world titles. I'm elated with the way my life went. I really am. I'm very happy with it.
Hey, I know you weren't elated when you fought Roger Mayweather. What was Roger like, and how hard did he hit? Was he as hard as did he hit as hard as anyone that you faced?
Yeah, he was a great fighter. And you want to know what's funny about that fight? I got a great story for the Roger Mayweather fight. He was unbelievable. Him and Floyd, they were very similar. But with let me see. In the fight with Mayweather, it was I couldn't make the weight. I was trying to make 140. and normally I was like 160. So I lose the weight, and he just killed me. And I just tried. I like didn't didn't and wasn't gonna get knocked out. I was just that I didn't want that to. I almost like I couldn't let that happen. But he was hitting me like bombs, and I let it go to the end. I fought like I just took it, and I almost died after that fight. I was in the hospital. If my father wasn't with me, like the Duvas, they weren't with me. They didn't give a shit. The main events. Um, if my dad wasn't with me, I was dying. I would have died of dehydration, and but the only reason why I'm still here now is because they were taking my blood pressure. They was shooting me up with needles in each arm, putting fluid in me, and I was going out of my mind. I was going to another universe. I started seeing. I started seeing like clouds in me, and then I felt like so good, and but I knew I was dying, and it felt great, and I was like I can remember this like yesterday. This was 1989. I'm going up and up and up through the brightest of the brightest, like like white. You see white clouds. Like these were like like enormous white clouds. I was going up and up through that all, and I was just it was feeling good, and good thing my father was with me, because if he wasn't, this talk would never be happening. It would just never be happening. I was going up and up through the clouds, and they were white, and I was just letting it happen because it felt so good. I was like, it, that's it. I'm gonna die. I lost this fight. Frig it. I'm out. And if my father didn't walk in the room, the doctor said to my dad, Mr. Pazienza, we're losing your son. He's got one heartbeat every 7-8 seconds. And my father came over to me and he grabbed my shirt and he started shaking me violently. Chad, don't do this. And I heard his voice like, Chad, don't do this. He brought me back. And the clouds went away, and that's why I'm still sitting here right now, or I'd be gone. No one even would know who Vinny Paz was.
Well, I don't know about that. You left your mark, but would you say Roger was the biggest puncher you faced?
Roy Jones, Roberto Duran, and Roy Jones, Roberto Duran, and Roger Mayweather.
Okay, tell me about Hector Camacho.
Oh my God, another unbelievable fighter, unbelievably elusive. I knew like he was gonna outpoint me, but I just tried to get one bomb on him, just one bomb on that sucker, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get him, and I lost the fight. That was a 15-round fight. And I fought. Never mind, that was 15 round. I fought the last two 15-round fights in the history of boxing. Vinny Paz fought the last two 15-round fights in the history of boxing. Imagine.
I've got to ask about your infamous crash now, which is kind of the centerpiece of the movie, and explain to me about that and the fallout of that. I mean, I'm sure it's a story you've had to tell and told many times over, but how much trauma did that inflict on your body and your mind?
It was horrendous. Yeah, it was slightly horrendous. I almost died. I almost died because of it. Like I was going up through clouds.
In terms of the car wreck that caused you so many injuries, do you remember the
Yeah,
crash?
vividly, vividly. It was when a friend of mine was driving, and and I'll never forget. Like if I said something that might have never happened, but I was in the passenger side. He had a small Camaro, a silver Camaro, and he was. I felt him going a little too fast, and and he was doing around 65 miles, 70 miles in a 45 zone, and I was like, oh man, this dude's going a little too fast. And the next thing you know, somebody cuts him off, and then we started sliding into the next lane, and we got hit, and that was it. The rest is the broken neck, and that's it. It was that was that was that was a life changing incident. It it was ugly. Yeah, not good.
Did you feel the pain, or were you instantly out and unconscious?
I'm not sure, which probably means that I was unconscious. Yeah, yeah, that's what that probably means. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened, but we got hit by a big town car, and then after that, things went a little bit blank, and then the next thing you know, I'm getting pulled out of the car by a couple of firemen and policemen in Rhode Island, Warwick, Rhode Island, and that was it. That's the start of another journey. I'm full of like good stuff and bad stuff.
So yeah, so tell me about that journey, Vinny. Obviously, you were told, not, you definitely weren't going to fight again. And at what point did you start to think, no, I am going to fight again? And how hard was that rehab period? Was that the hardest period of your life physically?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. It was just mentally draining, physically like slightly impossible, and I'm lucky. Yeah, I'm blessed. That was I got lucky. That's how I chalk that up. Hard work and luck, and those
Did
two things go good together. Good luck and hard work, they can do some major damage, and you all remember that when you're doing something someday, and then you're saying, "Ah, man, this is so hard." Say Vinny Paz said this is going to be hard, but it's going to be because you're going to get good stuff out of it. You're going to make it. You're going to make it through with some good stuff. Remember, I told you that.
did the movie do a good job of capturing your rehab and what you went through?
Yeah, a little bit, but not really. Not really. Um, it was so much more horrific than what was shown on TV. Um, it was it was it it was all right. It was a good movie. I liked it. Miles. I love Miles Teller, and he did a great job. And he there's no way in hell he could have like known like the pain that I was going through. The pain when they took the screws out of my head. Um, yeah, I mean, he's a great actor. Um, but he should have been with me a little longer in the upcoming of the film for the fight.
So
But
the bit you talk about is the screws. Like now, I can hardly talk about it without covering my face, right? Because they had to screw a halo into your head, and then they obviously had to unscrew it to keep you straight, right?
yeah, yes, absolutely. And yes, you said it correct. It was life changing. That's how big it was. I went through that experience, and like I just remember like them taking the screws out after they'd been in my skull for 3 months, wrapping around like the skull was wrapping around the screw in 4 spots on my head, and it was so painful. Like I literally said after that happened, I said it was like a 747 flying through my head, and like that's that's about as bad as it gets.
Hey, I mean, that's horrendous, but what did it feel like coming back and getting back in the ring? And were you the same Vinny Pazienza afterwards, or were you not quite the same, or were you just as good as you ever were?
I was more of an animal. Yeah, I was an animal. I said if I got screws in my skull and I had them taken out and I'm still walking, I'm 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 giving it all I got no matter what. And that's how I felt after the screws got taken out of my head.
And you didn't have like many soft fights to come back with. Like you pitched in so hard. You fought Gilbert Dele, who was 29-0-1. You
Yeah.
fought Ron Admonson before that, who was 24-1, and then Louis Santana, Brett Lally, and then you actually fought our buddy over here, Lloyd Hunnigan. And what did you make of Lloyd?
Lloyd is such yeah, I love that guy. He was the coolest cat in the box. Um but he had his day. He had one day in his life that he shined, and that was the day that he beat Donald Curry. And he would have had to fight like that to beat me, because at that time, like after the halo came off, it was a crazy moment, and I fought crazy like a madman. And if Lloyd was gonna beat me, he'd have to pull a Donald Curry out of his ass because I was not going down. I wasn't. I just got the screws out of my head. I'm working out. I'm feeling good. Um, but the head, you never know. Like a little bit of a bone, if it cracks, if your head moves. I just got lucky the whole way around. I got lucky, and lucky, and I worked my off.
Hey, tell me about your relationship with trainer Kevin Rooney.
Loved him. He was number one guy in my heart. And it was my dad. Then my dad died. My mom went, and my dad went. They went around the same time. Like after, you're gonna be lucky to have great parents, and gotta be lucky to have a guy who works with me. It's not like Kevin. Kevin wasn't a great trainer. He was trained by a great trainer called Customato. Um, and me and Kevin just hit it off. It was a different atmosphere between the two of us and other people. Yeah, I got blessed.
I went and trained in that Catskill gym with Kevin in around about 2000, and he still had the banner on the wall said, welcome home, Vinny Pazienza, 5-time champion of the world. It was still up in the gym then, even 15 years later.
That's pretty cool. That's love.
Yeah, true, true. So then there was Robbie Sims, Dan Sherry, and then you had a couple of fights with Duran. There's not many easy ones, is there? There's not many easy fights for
No,
Vinny Pazienza.
no. Well, let me tell you, Robbie Sims was Marvin Hagler's step brother. Like they had the same blood, the same mother. You know, Marvin Hagler was a badass. He was one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Like, he was a badass, Marvin Hagler. Marvin and Robbie Sims, his step brother, I went and watched them spar one time. One time I went up there with my dad. I couldn't believe what they did to each other. It was unbelievable. Like, Marvin Hagler was the baddest middleweight in the world at the time. Baddest. Robbie Sims was kicking Marvin's ass at times. Like, the day that I went and see him, oh my God, it was a war. I don't know if they did it for me because I was there, but those guys went at it. Like, it was nuts. Like, they were both. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was watching and going, oh my God, look at this. This is unbelievable. Oh, I'm like, Dad, do you believe this? He goes, Champ, I don't know. I don't know, Champ. I don't know. You want to get in there with these guys? And I'm like, no, I don't. I really don't. And I fought Robbie Sims after that. But yeah, I was. Yeah, man. Marvin Hagler was a bad dude. He was just a bad dude. And I first saw Marvin Hagler. Let's see how many people are really smart out there. If you remember, in Rhode Island, there was a school called Brown University. Okay. And it was one of the greatest colleges ever. And I went and go see Marvin Hagler fight in that gym, the Brown University gym in Providence, Rhode Island. My father took me to see them put on an exhibition, and oh my God, Marvin Hagler was unbelievable, like unbelievable. He was like the baddest man on the planet. You know, first it was Marvin Hagler, then it was Mike Tyson. But
where was Vinny Paz? Third?
I don't even think about it.
What about Duran? Tell me about your fights with Duran.
That fucker hit me harder than, like, I just remember when, like, getting hit by the guy. Like, the first time he hit me was a body shot. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah, he hit. It like every time he hit me, it was like a thud, like a big concrete thud. It was really weird, and it was really weird fighting him, but.
What did you think of beating Duran at that stage of his career? Did it mean a lot for you?
Well, I still remembered he was old, and but when I tell you, and he got on me, like, he talked a lot of shit about me before we fought, and now we're buddies. He's cool as hell now. But he gave me some before the fights was started. The two fights, he talked mad about me. I hated him. Oh my God, I hated him. But I got his respect. That's why we're friends today.
And okay, so up at super middle when you fought Roy Jones, how good was that version of Roy Jones? He was pretty much untouchable at the time, right?
He was like lightning. He was faster than lightning. He was unbelievable. He's remarkable.
Was he the best? You'd put Roy up there as the best that you fought, possibly?
Yeah, definitely. He was unbelievable. Yeah.
Would you have him in the debate as the greatest fighter of all time? That, Roy at his best.
He was really, really up there. Like, he would have blown up like a balloon if he would have stayed at heavyweight. I don't know why he didn't keep that. Like, something was wrong there. There's a little something going on in that training camp, the people around him, because he was the heavyweight champion of the world. You know, that's an unbelievable tag on you, that you're the heavyweight champion of the world. But he tried to lose weight and go back down. I don't know why. I thought he would have blown up, take some testosterone, you know, blow up, fill out, and he was fast as lightning. That's why, fast as lightning.
Vinny, I've got to ask, all these fights that you had in Atlantic City, by the way, you must have known some of those big organized criminals, right, from back in the day, from the 80s and 90s. You must have known your John Gottis and all those guys, right?
I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I'm with my girl in one of the fights that Jimmy Birchfield put on, and we're sitting down watching the fight, and I said, Essie, hey, I said, there's John Gotti over there. And she goes, oh my God, where is he? She goes, I gotta kiss him. I said, what the did you just say to me? And I said, go ahead, go over, he's right over there. That's it right there. And she went over and he hugged her and stuff. And she got the biggest kick out of it. Yeah, she said the best thing besides me that she'd ever met in her life.
Gotcha.
So you knew,
Junior.
yeah. But you knew all those guys back in the day, right?
Well, sorta. Yeah, they came around. They couldn't get through my father. My father kept me away from them. Yeah,
that was kind of one of my questions. When you said about your dad, was he from that life or not?
Yes and no. Yeah, yes and no. They couldn't get into him. You know, they tried, but they couldn't break him down. And he was a strong man, my dad. I got lucky. I got his toughness. That's where I got my toughness from. And my mom, how about this? Here's a good one too. My mom is walking home from her hairdressing salon that she owned. She's walking home, and at 2 blocks up from the house, my mother always walked because she didn't drive a car. But 2 blocks up, she trips on a curb, breaks her knee in 8 places, cracks up her leg even more, but she picks up 2 bags of laundry. She was of 2 bags of food that she just went and bought at a Stop and Shop Plaza. She puts the stuff back in the bag. She walks down 2 blocks with a broken knee in 8 places, walks up 2 stairs, walks up 2 sets of stairs, 2 floors, cooks dinner for my father, and she says to him, Angelo, could you please take me to the hospital, to the emergency room? My knee is killing me. And my father took her, and the doctor told her, he said, what happened to your wife, Mr. Pazienza, happens to football players, and they are taken off the field always in a stretcher, in one of those movers. So
Wow.
she was a tough sucker too. My mother was a tough. I had 2 great tough parents, which made me a world champion.
So do you think, if you weren't a boxer, might you have been a gangster? Would you have gone down that route?
No, I wouldn't have gone down that route. I don't know what I would have done, but it wasn't one of those guys. Yeah, because I wasn't into that. I didn't like him very much, and my father made me not like him. You know, he was always on me. And, you know, don't do this, champ. Don't do that. You don't need that, champ. You don't need this. Yeah, my father was on me like a glove, and That's why I stayed away from that. I didn't like those guys, to be honest with you.
Did you ever go to Alcerto's tailor shop?
Yeah, of course. Who did?
Did he fit you up?
Yeah, of course. Free suit.
There were some wise guys down there, weren't there? That was like meant to be one of the hideouts, right?
Oh my God, yeah. They even look smoking a cigarette, or like good looking rough ass guys, or like tight suits on. Yeah, there were some bad dudes back then.
Sounds like you, Vinny. Tight suit, good looking guy, bursting out of his suit. You just described yourself. um, so I asked you about Lloyd Hunnigan. What about Harold Graham?
I liked Harold. Yeah, I liked him. He was a good guy, and he uh he just did his thing. You know, I beat him, but it was over in his neck of the wood, and you know, the fight was over in London, and I said, ah, fuck it, who cares? Nobody from America was here. There's just my dad. So who cares? I lost this, and he was such a nice guy. I didn't even give a shit. And you know, I didn't care because it was over in London. The fights, you know, there's three London judges, and you know, and I beat the kid. But you know, a fighter knows. A fighter knows. Remember this: a fighter knows whether he won or lost a fight. If you hit me 2 times, I hit you back once, I win. And it's as easy as that. So when I fought Lloyd Hunnigan, he even knew I beat him. You know, I knew I won the fight, but so I didn't care. It meant nothing to me. And
Harold was known for being frustrating, right? That people couldn't hit him and couldn't pin him down.
Very frustrating to fight. My God, wicked. But I still beat him. You know what I mean? You like I told you, I hit him with 6 punches. He hit me with 4 punches. I went. You know.
But so you had a hell of a run. Like you didn't, unlike a lot of fighters as well. Like you didn't drop off much. There was one last big shot with Eric Luca in Foxwoods, but then you retired after a win after beating Tocker Pudwell. Just tell me about that period. Yep.
Wanted to get to my 50th win. Like I just wanted to get to 50 wins because nobody does that. Nobody retires with 50 wins. Like it's yeah. And my girl just said that's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. It really is. And I'm very proud of that. I'm proud. 50 wins, 5 world titles, 30 guys, stop 30 guys. I'm proud. I'm proud of my record. It's good. And there's good thing.
There's a whole bunch of guys that you beat that we didn't mention as well. There was Pat Lawland in the end. There was Glenwood Brown. Like they were really good little fighters.
I'm glad you said that name. I love this dude. Like I would give him a hug right now if I see him. Glenwood Brown was a bad. He was a bad dude. I beat his ass. We went at it toe to toe. It was one of the greatest fights in the super middleweight history. Like if anybody can go back and pull up, and I'm pretty sure it was on ESPN. Pull up the fight Vinny Paz versus Glenwood Brown. Glenwood Brown. Oh my God, what a fight that was. We were just going back and forth. And then I was a little too much for Glenwood. He was a bad dude though. And a great guy. Great guy, great fighter. Yeah, if you got a shot to see that fight, Go and check it out. Oh my God, you'll know what I was talking about.
If someone wanted to see the best version of you, Vinny, what fight would you point them to? The very best. What night were you at your best?
The Glenwood Brown fight was kind of awesome. The best night of my life was against Gilbert Delay. For the WB, it was Gilbert Delay. Yeah, by far. That was the greatest fight I ever had. And the Glenwood Brown fight was just awesome. Who else? There's I don't know. All my fights were kind of interesting at one point. Damn.
Hey, Vinny, you said about being in great fights. You were in a lot of great fights, a lot of wars, a lot of slugfests. Do you feel like you paid a price for it? I know you've retweeted some of my stuff on Twitter about CTE and that side of stuff. And do you think that that's something that not enough fighters pay attention to? The damage that you incur throughout your career from boxing?
1,000%. See what you said, Tris? 1,000%. I say it to my girlfriend all the time. You know, she'll tell me, Vinny, you forgot this, Vinny, you forgot that. I said, honey, I got hit in the head a million times. I know. You don't got to tell me. I get it. Yeah, it's I feel blessed that I'm as good as I am now. I am, you know, I can hold a conversation with anybody at any time, and it's a good thing. But you know, a lot of loss of memory, this and that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm lucky. I'm a little off course once in a while, but it's not bad.
Is it something you worry about in the future, or do you just deal with it each day as it comes?
I just deal with it as it comes. I'm good. I'm going out just like this, just like I am now. And I want to live I want to live a good life. I don't want it to be long. So that's a fact, Jack.
When we were at the Hall of Fame, obviously we were speaking about your possible induction. I know this is something that I don't know if it's fair to say it bothers you, or if you've checked out mentally or emotionally from it. Is it, where do you stand on that right now? Obviously you feel like you deserve to be in. Does it hurt now that you're not in there just yet?
You know what, Trish, I find it like it's laughable. It's like a joke. Like I won 50 fights. 50 fights. I stopped 30 guys. I won 5 different world titles. Never mind that. I entertained millions on top of millions of people. Like every time my fight was on, the ratings would go off the roof. That means a lot in the Hall of Fame. That means a lot when you're taking people to your sport. I had a lot of people would come to fights, just because that it was me, and I love it. I'm blessed. I think, so I don't know what the deal is there. Something's going down that Brophy running the Hall of Fame. Who the knows? I have no clue, but whatever.
If you got in, how happy would you be as that to be sort of closure for that chapter in your career?
Yeah, cool. It would just be cool, but I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy in life. I'm lucky of all the things I've done that I'm still like this cognitive. I'm still I'm still sharp a little bit. It's it's good. It's a good thing. I'm very lucky. I have fans that are still with me, which is incredible. And I got Mike Jackman with me. I got Zena, my my PR girl who does, you know, everything for me, not just PR work, but she's the bomb. And my life's good. I
Do you
can
get
go.
to
I
do you
can
get to
die
the
tomorrow.
gym?
I have a gym in my cellar in my house, and I do something there every day. I do a little bit. I lift weights, so I still got the guns.
So no regrets, Vinny. You just said you know you could die tomorrow. Cut you off, but you were going to say you'd be happy, right? No regrets and
Oh,
happy with how things have worked out.
1,000%. My God, yeah, 1,000%. I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
If you could do it all again, you'd do the same stuff.
Same thing. Wouldn't change. Wouldn't change a bit.
Great. Vinny, guys, thank you so much for making the time to do this. I'm really grateful that we finally got it, and I'm really pleased.
You need to thank Xena because she was on me to get on this. Yeah, I have so many people that want to interview me, and eventually I get to them. So, but like, you know, sometimes it just don't happen. I follow up. I don't remember. You know, she was on me about you. So obviously you got a good girl in your corner.
Well,
Xena's the best.
we've always done well when we've spoken, Vinny. I'm always grateful for your time, and you've over delivered once more. So thank you so much for taking the time to do it. I'm grateful.
Cool. Stay
All right,
strong.
thanks, guys. Take care. Bye bye.